the word YouTube? It's your boy TRG Season, and I'm here with my first YouTube video. Now, at the time this video is gonna go up, it will be April 10th, which means I've officially turned 20 years old. Yes, I am a unk, man. I'm officially an unk now. And I figured, I'd start up this, channel and get on here and really talk about, what this new chapter means for me. And the title of this video is I just turned 20 years old and I'm a loser, because that's truly what I feel like I've been for these 20 years of my life. And with being this new chapter in my life, this new decade, I really have sat down and reflected. And I'm not a type of person to say I live with no regrets. If I'm being completely honest, there are stuff that I do regret, and there's stuff that, I wish I had done in the past that I look, in the future and realize, oh, I wish I would have done that. But, at the end of the day, you can't go back in time. You can't go back in time. You can't redo things. You could only use your past as learning experiences and learn how to move forward. You feel what I'm saying? And so I'm making this video for anybody that's a teen, that's a young bull, or even if you're, my age, 20 and up, 20, 30, 40, 50, and you could reflect on, your youthhood with me, on your teen years with me, and, help the youth out and help the up and coming generation out. And, 20, it's still young, it's still young, but at the end of the day, time only moves forward, and before you know it, you're 20, you're 25, 30, 35, 40. And so I wanted to make this video to help the youth out, because I wish I had this video when I was younger. And this is me really speaking to my younger self, and I'm hoping it clicks into some of your guys' mind. So without further ado, I have 5 things written down for how not to waste your teen years and things that I regret. And I'm just going to get straight into it. So the first tip that I have to not waste your teen years is to go outside. Now, this was one that I struggled with a lot during my teen years, and I still do to this day. Instead of going outside, I would spend a lot of time on video games, social media, doom scrolling, all of the above. And although, I did have a couple memories of on the game, being on the game late at night with the boys, you feel me, 2K, Fortnite, all of that, and, being in the PlayStation parties, especially over the pandemic. I really wish that I would have spent a lot of the time that I spent playing video games and on social media in my room and just chilling in my crib, going outside. And you don't even have to go outside doing wild stuff. You don't have to go outside and go partying. You don't have to go outside and do anything crazy. Bro, just going outside, going to hoop, you know what I mean? Going to kick it with your boys and grabbing food, you know what I mean? Those late night drives, shit like that, you feel me? Just little stuff like that builds core memories. And I can honestly say that my core memories of my, youth, my childhood, were when I used to go outside. Elementary school, middle school, I was always outside. But then in high school, I turned into a hermit crab, especially after the pandemic. I got comfortable being inside. I got comfortable, watching YouTube, being on social media, playing video games. And I stopped going outside. I stopped, being outside. And I really don't have any memories from high school. And the reason for that is because, like I said, I didn't go outside. And so I'm not saying to, completely give up video games and, completely go out social media and all of that. Bro, no, let's be realistic. You know what I mean? These things, they're hard to quit, bro. Video games, I'm looking at my PS5 right now, bro. Social media, everyone has it. You know what I mean? But all I'm saying is to really limit your time that you spend indoors and to go outside, bro. Touch some grass, please. Build some memories, meet new people, do new experiences, all of that, bro. Because you're going to look back, especially after you graduate high school, and you're going to look back when you turn 20, 30, 40, and those memories are going to be what you remember. You know what I mean? So make sure you go outside, bro. Stay safe, but go outside, bro. Touch some grass, make some memories. Number 2, it's going to kind of go along with number 1, and it's to take risks. Now, taking risks, a lot of people think that that means putting themselves in danger. Bro, taking risks doesn't always have to mean something, dangerous. It doesn't mean that you have to, go hit a lick on a store, what I'm saying, for a challenge, or, taking risks could apply to anything in life, bro. If you want to start a YouTube channel, if you want to become a content creator, if you want to do anything online, bro, start it in high school. Start it as a teen. Start it young. Because you might be scared to start it because, oh, what would people think? Oh, what would this and that? What would this person, that person say? And I was the same exact way, bro. I've always wanted to be a content creator. I've always wanted to do content. But that fear of what if my classmates, what if people found my channel, what would they say, always hindered me from starting and achieving my goals. And I can honestly look back and say that's one of my biggest regrets, because I think about all the progress I could have made if I started my channel in middle school, if I started my channel early high school, if I started my channel, when I was young, how many years of experience I would have had to be able to share on YouTube and what I could have grown. But you know what? Guess what? I'm starting today, and the progress is only going to keep moving forward. You know what I mean? But take risks, bro, because at the end of the day, you might be scared of what so-and-so is going to say in your classroom, right? Brother, when I tell you, as a 20-year-old man, I was class of 2024. I've been out of high school for 2 years now. I don't talk to barely anybody that I went to school with. And the people that I do talk to still that I went to school with are my close friends. And guess what? They're supportive. Like, they don't clown me for doing content. They don't clown me for none of that, because they're real friends, and they understand what I'm trying to do. They're not clowning me. And guess what? If there's anybody that did know me in my past, that did know me from school, and they're clowning on me, I don't really care, because I don't have to see them. You know what I mean? And I just want you guys to get that through your head, that those 4 years of high school and, those teen years are so short compared to the rest of your life, bro. And at the end of the day, people are gonna laugh regardless, bro. You don't think the highest, you don't look at the highest athletes, the highest, making, highest billionaires, the highest YouTubers with subscriber counts, all that. You don't think people still hate on them and, laugh at them and stuff like that? Of course they do. But guess what, bro? You're gonna be laughed at regardless of what you do. So you might as well do what you want. You get what I'm saying? And I wish I had that mindset while I was a teen. And it's easier said than done. Obviously, I can't go back. But, bro, I'm telling you, man, if I could plead with you, please, if this is the one thing you could take from this video, is to take risk, bro. Take risk. Start up that business. Go make that channel. Go talk to that girl that you've been eyeing out. You feel me? Go, go out with the bros and, maybe do something a little dangerous. Nothing too crazy, but go live a little. You know what I mean? Go live a little. Get into a little small trouble. You know what I mean? Because that's what builds character, and ultimately that's what builds progress. So go and take risks. Do not be a scared, sheltered kid like I was, okay? Number 3, be a social butterfly. Now, this kind of, like I said, it all kind of works out together. But be a social butterfly. I had an IRL. My IRL, that's my closest friend. He is a social butterfly. He talks to anybody and everybody. And because of that, you know what happened? He built a lot of connection. And those connections are helping him out in life. Whether that be job placement, whether that be careers, stuff like that. He has a plug for anything. Anything and everything that you need, he knows somebody for. Why? Because he was a social butterfly as a teen and during his teen years. Meanwhile, me, on the other hand, was definitely not a social butterfly. I had my core circle, and I stuck to that core circle. I was not into making new friends. Now, I was cool with people. I was never, socially awkward or whatever. I would talk to anybody and everybody as long as they talked to me first. But I did not go out of my way to make new friends, meet new people, none of that. And as a result, that really hindered my success in making connections, because connections are very important. One connection could be worth more than $1 million, $1 billion, $1 trillion. Just one connection, because that one person might know somebody, and that person might know somebody, and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, boom, you built a web of things. You built a web of connection. You built a web, an empire of knowing people that can help you out when you're down. You know, and I'm not saying meet new people just for the sake of trying to get something out of them, bro. Just meet new people because we're all humans, we're all social creatures, bro. And I know it's hard, it might seem hard to meet new people, because especially when I was in high school, and especially after the pandemic, bro, everyone became social hermit crabs, bro. Everyone is just on their phone all day, doesn't know how to interact. And I'm the same way too. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. I'm always scrolling on my phone. You know what I mean? I always have these awkward social mannerisms, you know what I mean? And so I know it might be hard, but bro, everybody, I feel like personally, is desperate for social interaction. So if you're the guy that could break out of that shell and go up to people and just be like, hey, bro, what's the word, man? You know what I mean? What's the word? Nice shirt, nice shoes, whatever. Give them a compliment, bro. And I guarantee you, people are going to be more receptive to you than not. And you're going to be surprised. You're going to see that dude that always has the mean mug face. You're going to see that girl that always has the RBF. You know, it doesn't look like she wants to talk to anybody. You give them a compliment. You give her a compliment. Just watch how that expression melts out their face. And now they're receptive to talking to you, bro. All because you talked to them first. I'm telling you, bro. Be a social butterfly. And you know what I mean? Get to talking to people, bro. I'm telling you, that's going to do more benefit for you than anything else in life. Going outside, taking risks, and being a social butterfly, you're going to be ahead of the game if you're able to do that during your teen years. Number 4, controlling your lust. Now, this goes for fellas and this goes for females, but mainly I'm talking to the fellas, bro. During your teen years, you're going to be the horniest you ever been, bro. You're going to be the horniest you ever been. You're going to be bricked up every second of the day. You're going to be wanting to crack anything with 2 legs. You feel me? Anything with 2 legs, bro. If you are able to master your lust and be able to harness your power, bro, you're going to be unstoppable. Because if you're able to do it now when you're at your peak horniness, bro, only time can tell what you're going to do when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, bro. And this is something I've battled with my whole life, bro. With lust, you know what I mean? Lust. And, you know, it's something I'm constantly working on improving, you know. If I'm rubbing my nose a lot, I have an itchy nose. I apologize. I think I need to trim my mustache, bro. Like, the hairs are going into my nose and it's bothering me. My bad. But if you are able to control your lust as a teen, you know what I mean, in your teen years, bro, watch the progress you can make, bro. And I'm not saying be a social hermit crab, like I keep reiterating, bro. Talk to females, bro. Talk to females, upgrade that skill, all of that, bro. And have your fun here and there, bro. But do not pedestalize women. Do not make that your main goal. Do not make chasing the cooch your main goal. Because I know a lot of people that fell off the course of, you know what I'm saying, their life path. Because in high school, they got locked in with so-and-so. They got locked into a relationship with a girl that they shouldn't have been, you know what I mean, dealing with. And they were on point before that. Now, boom, they're dealing with all this drama. Now, you know what I'm saying, it's affecting their schoolwork. You know, during high school, it's affecting their schoolwork. You know what I'm saying? Now their mental bandwidth isn't on what their purpose should have been, isn't on their goals. It's on dealing with this drama, this, you know what I'm saying, this high school relationship drama and all that. It's a waste of time and a waste of energy. You know what I mean? So lock in, control your lust. You feel me? And even, you know, this doesn't even go with just females, bro. Like just getting into relationships and all that, bro. It also has to do with pornography, bro. You know what I'm saying? Limit the wanking, bro. And do your best to completely get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? You know, eliminate it from your lifestyle. But, you know, obviously, bro, it's one of the most potent drugs in the world, bro. Pornography and, you know what I'm saying, wanking, all of that. It's potent. So it's hard to quit. But do your best to limit it and work your way up to reducing it and eliminating it completely. You know what I mean? And if you're able to do that, just, bro, watch the aura you give off, bro. I know it's corny and all that aura stuff, but, bro, just watch the aura you give off when you're not a lustful person, bro. When you are one of the very few people in your high school, in your teen years, that doesn't look at a female and instantly think about what you'd want to do to her. You know what I mean? You actually see her for the human being she is. You know what I mean? And as a female, you know, when you save yourself, just watch at the quality of God that you could get when you save yourself and you don't just go after anybody slanging meat around. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, bro, if you can control your lust in your teen years, watch how powerful of a human being you become. I'm telling you. And number 5, and the last tip that I have for y'all, is to visualize your future. Now, if you were to ask my younger self, well, what did you want to do in 5-10 years? I would literally have no idea. You know what I mean? I would have no idea. And if you ask yourself that, if you ask any kid on the block, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or what do you visualize your future? It's a hard question to visualize. And so it's completely acceptable if you don't know what you want to do in your future, if you don't know what you want, you know what I'm saying, out of yourself. But do not fall into the trap of when people tell you that you have time. Oh, we all have time. Oh, you have time, you're young still. Because that time goes by quick, and before you know it, you're 20 years old and you still don't know what you want to do. Just like me. You know what I mean? And so visualize, just have a broad visual of what you see yourself being like in your future. You know, what type of lifestyle would you want? What do you want to look like? And as you're visualizing your future self, start thinking about the habits that that future self of yours is doing and start implementing those habits today. Is your future self jacked? Does he have a 6-pack? Is he ripped? Okay, so then start going to the gym today. Start building that aesthetic physique today. You know what I mean? Do you see your future self working a career, a job field? You know what I mean? A high career, a high job field? Okay, so start looking into what career path you want to look into and what does that require? Does that require going to school? Is there specific trainings that you need to do? What do you need to study? What material? Get a head start on that. You know what I mean? Or do you want to be an entrepreneur? Do you want to make your own money? Do you see yourself working for yourself and not in a career field? Then go ahead and start up that business today. Whether that's content creating, start making content now. Whether that's, you know what I'm saying, selling your own products, seeing, you know what I mean? All of this stuff, you could sort of visualize what you want, what you visualize your future self doing, and start implementing that today. You know what I mean? Whether that's working a career field, there's nothing wrong with working a job, bro. If that's what you want, if that's the path that you want, there's nothing wrong working a job. Just make sure it's a job that gives you purpose. You know what I'm saying? That satisfies your, you know what I'm saying, that satisfies your heart. And vice versa, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to be, you know, working for yourself, start doing that today, bro. Listen, everyone is going to tell you you have time still. And people told me that too. But like I said, before you know it, you're 20 years old and you're still stuck. And that's what I'm hoping to get out of this channel. Like I said, I've always wanted to be a content creator. I was just always scared of taking that plunge. But I finally decided now is the time. It's now or never. I have to take the plunge. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. New videos will be posted every Friday. And like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You know, come along with the journey. I know I rambled along a lot in this video. I'm hoping I get more comfortable on a camera, and you know, my articulation, my speaking skills improve, things like that. Share this video with, you know, anybody that you know that is a teen, or even, you know, just turned 20, 30, 40. Share this with everybody, bro. Because at the end of the day, we could all benefit from this. This video doesn't just apply to teens, bro. Obviously, if you're a teen, you still have way more. This video will apply to you more because these are things that if you implement now, you'll have more time to expand upon. But bro, even if you're 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, bro, you still can implement these today and work towards your goal and becoming, you know what I'm saying, becoming proud of your future self, bro. That's really all the goal is. And so with all that being said, to all my youngins out there, bro, I wish you nothing but the best. You know what I'm saying? Keep your head down, grind, you know what I mean? Enjoy life, bro. You only get to be a teen once in your life, bro. Once it's all said and done, you never get those years back, bro. live with no regrets, live it up, and do stuff that would make your future self proud, bro. That's all I gotta say. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to me on TikToks, or follow me on TikTok too, and Instagram, both TRZSZNN. I post content on there too, funny content, self-improvement content. I just post a little bit of whatever. So greatly appreciate if you guys follow me on Instagram, TikTok, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow, you know what I'm saying, subscribe, turn noties, all of that. Like I said, new videos every Friday, hopefully. Not even hopefully. We're going to be posting every Friday, okay? And if you guys enjoyed, like I said, do all that YouTuber stuff. It's your boy TRZ Season, and I'm out. Peace.